Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Little Western Model Railway YouTube channel. I'm James, and today we're going to be looking at Hornby's HM7000 Bluetooth and DCC sound decoders. I've been looking at picking up one of these for a while. I picked a 21 pin up for my Bachmann Earl class. Yeah, really looking forward to diving into this. First impressions are quite good, but I will go over all of that at the end. First we're going to unbox it. Then I'm going to show you how I installed it into this locomotive. Then we'll stick it on the rolling road, put it in the app, and run the default sounds. And then I'll give you some thoughts and feedback for this first initial look. Yeah, other than that, sit back, relax, and let's roll the intro. So, let's have a look at what is in the box. Now, I'm going to tell you now, this is like the fourth time I've ended up having to record this because I had some mic issues. The decoder is already in the locomotive. I've already filmed everything else, several days ago, so please forgive me. But I will throw up on screen anything that is missing in this box. So, standard Hornby box. It's nice little packaging, some relevant information, and on the back you have all different types of enclosures, the decoder and the sugar cube speaker, and some relative information. Anyway, now inside you will get some gumph. Here's most of the gumph, and let me move my chair back. There's another piece of gumph. So what do you get inside? Well, you get an NMRA leaflet for certification. You get some enclosures. I have already taken out one of the smaller enclosures, one of the medium enclosures, and the large enclosure and its base. I will put those on screen so you can see which ones are missing, but relatively small, not really fancy. You get two quick start guides, one of which is English, French. The other is German, Spanish, and Italian. By the looks of things, not really much else. And on screen now, I will show you the decoder and speaker setup. That's about it. There's nothing else in there. It comes in a plastic cellophane wrap, which looks like this. And the decoder comes in a electrostatic bag. So that's about it. So I'm going to clear this away and wrap up my editing, but you'll see what I already recorded. Yeah. You tell me. So, apologies, the audio for this clip was just not very good at all. So here you can see the chip attached to the speaker and the largest build plate. The largest enclosure. And here I'm just debating how I'm going to install this. There's a little bit of a close-up. It has a sticky pad on it where you can just press fit it into place. I did add a seam of super glue around the bottom as well, and then also a seam of super glue around the enclosure as well to keep that airtight. So here I am, looking at it, trying to figure out how to install it in the tender, and you can see here I'm just demonstrating that all you need to do is line up the pins and firmly press it. It's as simple as that. But there is the issue of how would you use the biggest enclosure in this. I went ahead and I ended up tearing out the current speaker enclosure with some pliers and a Dremel to file it down, and I had to attach the circuit board and move it slightly over just so I could get it. And here's a photo of that now, as you can see, or one or two photos of that and how I managed to jigsaw that together, and the tendered body fits nicely on top of it. So now we'll move over to functions. Hey everybody, so now we're down on the desk. I have the Earl set up with the speaker and the enclosure inside the tender already. We're on a rolling road, and I have my iPhone set up ready with the app, but I'm going to transpose it here so you can see everything on the screen. This will be my primary controller for now. By the looks of things, you might have to repeat this setup if you swap handsets. I'm still looking into that, and I will do a separate video on that potential issue later on. So for now, we can hit ready to link, and it will link the device. This may take a few seconds. It might even tell you to power cycle, but if you have your power set up, so I should let you know that this is using a standard Hornby train set rotary controller with a 19 volt supply, and there we have it. So we have locomotive profile detected. Would you like to fetch and import the latest locomotive profile function map? We're going to go ahead and say yes. I already know which profile is on here. It should be the default, but you can hit no and you can install your own profile. So there we go, successfully imported SD9999. Now we're going to have a basic look at what the how the app looks. So you have your control page, which is where you control your locomotives, and your multiple locomotives and different addresses should appear on the top screen. I only have one decoder, so I can only see one. We can access locomotive settings or manage the device itself. We have a speed control, which you can see moves. We have a directional button. We have a brake, which if you hold it, brakes the locomotive. When you let go, it carries on, and you can press stop and it will automatically stop. Then we have several functions. There are 3 pages of functions. I will go over these in a moment during the running shots. It will be running shots on the rolling road, I'm afraid. But in future videos, you will see running shots with the HM7000. But I think on the rolling road, will still give you a very good impression of what the profile sounds like. And then you can resume operational control. So when you switch between locomotives, you can change which one you're handling. So there are 2 and 3 pages of functions, and we'll go through each of those in depth at a later stage. Today we will just showcase the sounds themselves. Here you can link accessory devices or new devices. Here we can create a layout depending on if you have the Hornby track planner and their own products. And then here we have the decoder settings itself. So here you can set an image, we can edit the decoder itself, change the basic information, so the address and the loco number, swap between Bluetooth and DCC, check the vehicle's active state so we can actually deactivate this locomotive and the decoder if we wish, change the acceleration rate, so the higher the number, the longer it takes to accelerate. The lower the number, the quicker it takes to accelerate. The same with deceleration. So right now they're set to 15. And then we have global volume set to 50, which I think is a relatively good height. Any louder, it starts to get very, very, very tinny. Any lower, you start to lose a bit more quality. But we'll go through that another stage. I want to go through each of these pages individually so we can get a full brief on them. Import and export function mapping, and then browsing locomotive profiles. Again, other functions I will look at separate videos. Here we have the functions page. You see 1, 2, and 3 pages of these functions. And here we can see, we can rename them, change the function, and what kind of button that they are. So we wanted to have a switch, we can change the icon, and we can do a test. Just just a teaser for you there, and we can do that for any of the pages. And then the thing that really is the ticket holder for this decoder is changing CVs on the fly. And again, I want to do an entirely separate video on changing CVs and how to go about it and how to do it. I just want to have a play first. This is just a preliminary. Here we are. So as you can see, it gives you a very nice overlook of the CV values, and you can go through and check those yourselves. So I'm going to, off camera, do the setup, and then we will come back. We will go through all of the sounds for the default profile, and then I will put some, I will have it just running in the background while we do a quick synopsis and ending. So I'll speak to you in a few moments. Hi everyone, post-production James here. I just wanted to say, if you're enjoying this video and the rest of my content, please feel free to subscribe, like, and leave any comments that you have. Also, this week's shout out goes to Heapton Colliery Model Railway. I've been loving their content recently, and they even did a small one on a very, very small micro layout, which I thought was really interesting. Anyway, go check them out, and let's get back to the video. So, now that I've set the locomotive up, I've added a photo, I've changed the name and the address to something that suits my needs. What we're going to do is we're going to start this up. So we're going to start with the turning on sound 1, which is function 1. And now I will cycle through the different sounds, and on screen you will see what function they are, what the title is, as and when they change. So I'll be quiet now, and you guys can just listen to the various sounds, and then we'll get into thoughts and afterthoughts. So there we have the basic sound controls. So it's 2 pages of really sound controls, and the third page is mostly lighting, and then some shunting mode, changing to coasting, but you also have an automated function button, so it will randomly choose automated functions depending on what it's doing, if it's standing still, if it's moving. So let's go up and add some speed. We'll go to a nice healthy crawl, or maybe a 10. Preferably in the right direction. We'll give it a break. Let it go again. Now we'll take it up to, say, 25. And we can check out the coasting. And swap it back to chuffing. Let's rack it up to half speed. And let's rack up full chat. Now, that's full chat with coasting and chuffing on, and it just doesn't seem to love it. You can hardly hear it, as you can tell. Maybe that's just most of the motor, but overall, I'm quite impressed. Let's get this turned off. There we are. So overall, I am quite impressed with this. But let me turn the camera around, and we can have a final bit of say on this, and we'll go from there. So there we have it, the Hornby HM7000 DCC Bluetooth Sound Decoders. I really am impressed with the Bluetooth control, the way that you can change CVs, the sound profile themselves, the effects that you can get out of them, and I really can't wait to get properly stuck in and test this out. I'm really happy with the innovation. I think it's really, really good coming out from Hornby, and I can't wait to see what they do with the system moving forward. I might even pick up a steam generator if they do a castle or a king at some point. Hint, hint, Hornby, please do a castle or a king at some point. But I digress. I really want to see what they do in the future. I know that Tsunami in the US have also done Bluetooth decoders in recent history, so it's nice to see we have an option for UK modelling as well. And maybe we can get something nice for diesel locomotives as well. We've got the steam generator, as I said, for steam locomotives. Maybe they'll do something for diesels in the future, but we'll see. I did have one or two issues with the decoder setup. I had to do some changes at certain points for when I had sound profiles that I was updating. I went through and I did so many sound profiles because I wanted to hear them all, and I had to reset the locomotive a few times. I did reach out to Hornby and asked if this was if there was a correct process to do this, and they did tell me that if I couldn't, access the decoder, simply delete it from the thing and do a reset, and it should work. And lo and behold, it did. So I'm very grateful that technical services managed to get back to me within 48 hours, I believe, even ahead of a weekend. So I was very, very impressed with that. Very happy with that. I do think that there has been some misconceptions, or at least on my part, maybe, for the DCC control. So it states specifically on the box, functions with Hornby Elite, Hornby Select, and Hornby E-Link. So I'm assuming that means, I'm looking over there, I'm assuming that means that the DCC functionality part of this is specifically designed to work with Hornby's DCC capable controllers instead of NMRA compliant third-party controllers like your Gauge Masters, your DCC EX, Digitrax, Z1 systems, you name it, enter here. And I've seen pray tell of other users that have had similar issues where they've been doing some testing and had some issues chopping and changing from Bluetooth to DCC. I myself set it up on my DCC EX system through JMRI, was able to scan, see that the correct number had been set, the correct locomotive address, had been set, all the CVs were correct and everything. I like to have a database just set up so I know what the previous versions were. And I ran it on DCC without any issues. I took it over to my friend's layout and ran it on a Digitrax system for an hour and a half without any issues whatsoever with the default sound profile. And I decided that I wanted to show him some LMS sound profiles because he has some LMS locomotives, and we were looking into this cheaper and a more affordable way of sound fitting locomotives. And swapped it to back to Bluetooth because I believe that's the only way you can update new sound profiles. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I will do some testing on that. Uploaded a new sound profile which took 28 minutes, which I was expecting because that's what we were told to expect and what I've seen previously. Power cycled it, put it back onto the DCC mode, put it back on the track work, turned off my phone's Bluetooth and turned off the application to make sure there was no connection there whatsoever, went to use the Digitrax system and was unable to do anything at all. Couldn't turn the sound, couldn't move the locomotive, nothing. Same address, nothing else had changed, and we'd been using it for an hour and a half beforehand. And lo and behold, I loaded up the app again, could see that the locomotive decoder was still in DCC mode, swapped it back to Bluetooth, and it instantly worked. So I have to go back through that registration process. Now I have written to Hornby with some of my questions and concerns around this to see what information I can get back, and I will report back on that and the email that I sent out to them in one of my next videos. I plan on going over all of these little niggles and things so that you guys can see what issues I've been having or what things I've noticed while I've been doing my testing, and you guys can get the full Monty, let's say, of the decoder itself. But I want to stress that I'm really, really impressed with this, having seen the American counterpart and other European counterparts. It really is nice to see a British version of this with our sound profiles that are free. It's only recently that we've seen other companies make some of their sound profiles free, but you need to have specific equipment, I think, for ESU and Zimo decoders to be able to upload them. Some of them you still require codes. It's really frustrating if to have that sort of flexibility to change sound profiles on the fly if you want to change it for a better profile or something. Whereas here, free sound profiles, that was the complete grab. So yeah, I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to what comes up next with Hornby's Bluetooth setups, and I hope you guys are too. So keep an eye out in the future for a few more videos on this, and with some luck, a layout update in the near future. So I want to say thank you very much for watching to the end of this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you want to leave any comments, any advice, constructive criticism, or even just to say hi, leave a comment down below. And if you want to come back for more videos, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me and my motivation to make these videos for you, even though I enjoy doing it anyway. It's just another part of the hobby. So, thank you very much for talking to me. I need to stop. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. bye.